Okay, we're back. It's stacking the deck time. The whole gang is here. Tres amigos. We are stacking the deck.
We are.
Which one am I?
Yeah, you're the right now.
You're the.
What the?
Yeah, it might be you. You're the.
Nah, I'm deck on my screen.
No.
Nah.
You're just the regular, the solid though, consistent the, right?
Yeah, the most important because it's stacking deck.
Stacking deck doesn't. That's not enough.
Oh,
That ain't
Trey.
Yeah, you gotta have the V.
All right, big fan of that. Love that. Believe that.
Yeah, we got a lot of news according to Ed.
Yeah, we do have a lot of news.
What are we newsing right now?
Okay, so like,
let's go through the lineup first, and then we
can do the rundown. Okay, for me, first and foremost, my main passion, Goat Yugioh.
Oh no! I saw this.
Yeah, I hate that. So Konami went forth and they said, "Hey, listen, Time Wizard formats. Yeah, by the way, we're going to take vintage retro formats and we're going to make sure that they have the same rules as our modern format." So we can talk about that. Like, I feel a way about that just because, like,
yes, please. Let's talk about it now.
Is it just as bad as the sorcery for like? Their new rulings and stuff like that?
No, it's so much worse.
Oh, okay. Dang, I didn't think you get any worse than that.
It's so bad. Like, so for those of you uninformed, what made vintage Time Wizard formats so good, quote unquote. A lot makes it good, but one of the driving factors is you played with the card text of the times.
Yeah.
So the biggest example that I can think of off the top of my head is Ring of Destruction. Of Destruction, old Ring of Destruction, the Ring of Destruction that you played as a kid in 2005.
The good old days.
You could use that shit whenever.
Mm-hmm.
You could just pop ring, boom, get 8, dumbass. Now they're like, sorry, all cards are using modern rule set and modern erratas. Well, New Ring kind of sucks ass. Like, you can only use it during the battle phase, like your opponent's battle phase.
Yeah.
And sure, that is going to change about, you would normally activate it in the battle phase as like a battle trap, like 50% of the time anyways.
Yeah, it's safer.
But the other 50% of the time, you're using it after you attack into their draw phase just for game.
Yeah.
Just to say, you can't react to this. Haha, dumbass. Eat this.
Yeah.
So that's a really bad blow. I really think, and I was reading on it a little bit, and I really think that this is kind of Konami's quote unquote way of saying, like, you're not going to have it how you want it. You're going to have it how we want it, and less people are going to play. This is sort of how they say, quit doing Time Wizard events. We are not going to support Time Wizard events how you want us to support them. And it feels bad. That kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does suck. Actually, yeah, it sucks way worse than what sorcery is propositioning. Okay, so I get everybody's upset.
Yeah, we can pick on sorcery in a little bit too, but this was like this one shook me a little bit just because, like, honestly, it's a big selling point for these. There's only a handful of games that exist. It's Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! That have the legacy to really understand, like, hey, there's this whole marketable audience that are just like interested in retro formats
in the good old days.
The good old days, right? So let's go ahead and piss them off, right? And it'd be one thing if they weren't. It'd be one thing if they never did Time Wizard, right? They never engaged with like retro format in general, but the fact that they have and then essentially are like taking it away is really what's. I almost think it's worse. Like,
it's so bad.
Yeah. There's folks that try to defend it saying, oh, well, it should be a unified rule set so that way judges at events and things like that can figure it out. But I say tough titty. Like, if you're judging,
what the fuck do you mean tough titty? Like, Konami invented these rule sets. You mean to tell me there ain't an archive of the 2005 rule book that has the compendium in it? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody's upset, it sounds like.
Yeah, they could have figured that out.
It's strictly a net negative for Konami.
They said that you're gonna play modern or else.
Yeah,
at this point.
spend $800 on your deck or get bent, dumbass.
Or rebuy the old cards with the new errata text so you can play in an old format that never actually was that way. It's kind of weird. Like even Sinister Serpent's all janked up, but then I also feel
wait. They changed Sinister Serpent.
Yeah, so the errata on Sinister Serpent is like if it's in your graveyard in your opponent's end phase, it becomes banished. So
dude, look at Easton going like, wait, that's not what my Sinister Serpent did.
Yeah, you discard it and you come back to your hand
every time.
That's right. That's
forever.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm with y'all now, boys.
Yeah,
it sucks, man. It's bad.
Sangan, they managed to Sangan up over the years too. Sangan's errata is like if I forget what it is, but like you can take a card with 1500 attack or less from deck to hand. For the rest of this turn, though, you can't summon the card that has the same name as. There's like a whole
Witch of the Black Forest. So that means that she's errata too.
She's been banned.
So Witch is banned in this format, so we can't use
she's
her.
Like been perma-banned forever, day one. But,
forever, yeah.
But
that means that they're changing up Cyberjar.
Every card that's had an errata that would apply in this case. And
which is a lot. Right, it is a lot of the.
To be honest, though, the biggest thing, right? So, like the errata suck for sure, but it's priority that gets messed up the biggest because priority is what makes these retro formats so interesting. It's what their metas are based on, like, and really it's so funny. Each format there's three main formats. So this might be TMI, but there's GOAT. There's Edison and there's Hat. The main one out of all of them, as far as retro goes, is really Edison. People love Edison the most.
Really Edison.
And then maybe GOAT. I think GOAT's second, almost maybe tied with Hat now. But Edison's the main one, and that's out of all the formats, Edison's the one that got nuked the worst with priority rulings on the decks that people love, with like Light and Darkness Dragon, all these other cards that like really have warped and shaped that format.
Really defined Edison, right? Are just getting the big FU by Konami by saying, haha, we've updated the erratas, we've updated the rulings and the way that priority works to your detriment.
Yeah, Absolute Zero sucks absolute ass now.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, all the cards that people loved in that format are just like, so yeah, I mean, is it a big deal? Like, I can say this much for the GOAT folks, like the folks that like playing GOAT Yu-Gi-Oh! GOAT format, GOAT, like the actual community and the people that play it competitively have done so prior, like for years before Konami's like Time Wizard blessing. It was just always nice knowing this is what players love, is like in your back pocket. You're like, oh, I can go and play at a main sanctioned event with this deck, with this knowledge that I'm, building towards. So now it's like you're going into this weird fragmented of like, you've got the fan base of the format, and then you've got the actual supported format. It's almost like Magic's Commander, where it's like if a group of folks didn't like Commander's Magic's, because Magic basically co-opted Commander from a community format and said, no, this is ours. And I could see this happening over time or whatever at some point too. But basically, like, there is the MTG community's Commander version of the ban list, and then there's MTG's like official Commander version of their own ban list or whatever, like format of the rules. It's not even ban, it's actually how the game functions.
Yeah.
But that's the closest analog I could really draw for like folks that aren't interested in, the Yu-Gi-Ohs, so to speak.
But when we ride out, when we protest,
I mean, it just doesn't do any benefits to the game. And like, you may argue saying like, oh, well, they did this because they're tired of like reprinting the cards, the old cards. They just reprinted Retro Pack that has all the original card text, right? They just did that. They continue to reprint staples from these formats like Edison and GOAT into their like quarter century sets, into even their main sets, right? Like a couple sets ago, they did like a QCR Torrential Tribute, right? That was just a part of the main set. So it's like, it's not that they don't have any problems reprinting these cards, it just seems like it really feels like this is Konami's way of saying we're trying to force you to not play this format so that we no longer have to support it.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Like, it feels bad. It's obviously it doesn't do them any favors because you're not buying the new set, right? That's the goal, right? They want you to keep buying the new cards. If they support retro formats, legacy formats like that, then it takes away from that.
This is true.
So it's weird. It's there's no positive in it. No, I don't think anyone who enjoyed any of the Time Wizard formats were like, yeah, this is a good change. No one's saying that. There's no way.
Yeah, it's weird because they had all these like quarter century sets that came out where they did really lean into some of the legacy staples that people know and loved, and it felt like, oh yeah, they're being heard. Like, they know, like, there are these old formats that are being acknowledged that need these staples for people to play.
Yep.
Which feels good from a player standpoint, right? You're like, okay, cool. My cards are being more affordable, and they're also, we're getting a cool rarity out of it. So that's awesome. Yeah. So to come out of all of that, literally at the end of this whole 25th celebration bonanza, whatever the hell you want to call it, and then turns into this, it's like, I don't know, maybe they're really tone deaf. It's very likely just corporate folks or whatever just being out of touch with their player community. I can't see the world or way that this is seen as like an absolute, like, even how they would make more money off of making this decision doesn't quite make sense to me either. Like, I really don't know the angle, just being out of touch, I guess.
Yeah. But like, I feel like it's not though, right? Like, they're not out of touch because they're reprinting old cards, but now people will have no reason to purchase these these QCR sets, these anniversary sets. The card market of those cards, I feel like, are going to go down because less people are buying those on the secondary because, oh, I want to bring Max Bling to a Time Wizard event, right? And now no one's really gonna play it. So,
oh hell no, it ain't happening, dude.
What's
I don't even know how you could play Edison at this point. I think it's just like, I mean, maybe there's some new meta that would arise out of it, but it wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be fun because people weren't able to play the cards they like.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
weird.
Anyways, that's Yugioh. So
there's your bi-weekly Yugioh news.
That's right.
They keep fugging it up.
Yeah. We hate money. I mean, something will happen. Like, it's not gonna. I could see it really going in this direction where it's like, oh, turns out after making this decision, nobody wants to play Time Wizard retro formats anymore, so we'll stop supporting those altogether. Which is like the complete opposite take of what they should do, but I think that's just where it goes from here. So,
100%.
Yeah. Stay tuned, I guess. Speaking of running it back on retro formats, and this is totally a non sequitur, but we have some Metazoo news. We always have some Metazoo news. We'll make sure that this gets front loaded, but looks like Metazoo got their Instagram back, which is kind of cool, interesting, right? I don't know. That's almost like weird news to even celebrate or recognize, or I don't even know how to phrase it, but it's like y'all got the social accounts that you should have had since day one.
This is true.
There's some drama, I reckon, behind that, which is, I respect not like airing that all out publicly. I guess that's fair, but still strange, right? That it's just like, you wonder what else behind the scenes. Like, Metazoo, to their own credit or whatever, I'll give them this. Like, it's very likely they were operating with like one hand tied behind their back, at least on this initial launch. So maybe there's some other things that we don't know behind the scenes that's keeping them from doing stuff that we'd like to see. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's more of a testament to or a need to revitalize or grow at maybe, I'll say maybe at an alarming rate. Maybe the first set didn't do nearly as well, and they feel like they need to revitalize the old, you know, group of Metazoo fans that were primarily built on the Instagram profile and some of those old email lists. And so maybe getting that and being able to pull back that old Instagram account will help kind of revitalize them, or at least help grow in the rate that they probably were forecasting. Good.
From a social media growth marketing strategy, and Easton, you check me on this if it's still relevant or not, but because actually I've been meaning to ask you this even like off the pod, but I really liked their strategy of mass sharing people's stories. So like if people tag Metazoo, they got included in that Metazoo story. Like you look at those Metazoo stories, they'd be like, I don't know, like 50 story reshares deep or whatever.
Yeah.
And what I think that does is like it helps make your user base feel like they're heard or recognized. Even I remember even hearing from my wife a couple times, she's like, "Oh, Metazoo shared my story or whatever." And I mean, she typically could care less about any of that in general, but like even for her, it was like, "Oh, cool." And so like maybe that drives the engagement up or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Like, is that something that they could run back?
Maybe, but it's just, I think the lifespan of trading card enthusiasts is really, really small, and you don't have to. And as soon as they're out of something, they're into another game. So like as we see currently, the roadmap was like, I'm out of old Metazoo. Now I'm into these Kickstarters, Nom Nom. It could be Chronicles. It could be Obscures. It could be a slew of different games that go underneath that. And some people went to Lorcana, One Piece. Now it's like, how do you get them out of a game that if they went to Lorcana or One Piece, how are you going to get them out of that life cycle unless you incentivize it with like huge cash prize tournament or cards that are valued at 10 times what they're used to being.
Right.
Like there's got to be some reason for me to stop what I'm playing and that I'm comfortable with to play something else. It has to be the valuation of the cards. It has to be this tournament that is I can't miss. It's got to be something, and I'm struggling to figure out what that is right now.
Yeah. I guess speaking of tournaments, right? So Dallas Collecticon, there is going to be a flex deck tournament. So $25 is the entry, I believe. And Kurt, you pointed this out. I was thinking it, but I think you said it out first. But it's like, man, for it to not be during the convention's kind of a miss, right? What are your thoughts?
I don't want to be at the Omni Hotel from 7 to 11 in downtown Dallas. I want to go to the convention.
Yeah.
I want to fart around at the booth until like noon.
Yeah.
And then I want to play 3 to 6 rounds of this flex deck tournament. Is it that hard to secure a play area for 32 to 64 players?
I don't even think it would be that much. Like ideally, you'd even be like, "Hey, we're going to do 16-person, almost like pod, like throughout the day. Like we'll fire off a bunch of tournaments."
Right, I told you, right? Like you could do 8-man pods that were like on demand, even.
Yeah,
they do that at Nationals for Pokemon. I'm sure they do it for others, but they have on demand 8-mans that you sign up for through like an online portal, and then it just like sends you a text on your phone that says your pod's ready. Come to the main area, come to the hive, so that we can escort you to where we're going. Like, just do 8-man pods. You do 4 to 8 of those throughout the day. And then on Sunday, whoa, surprise, you're making more people come back to your booth a second day instead of just Saturday. You say, okay, the winners of those 8 pods will play in a top 8 for, fabulous prizes, whatever it is. It could have been nothing. It could have been a wheel spin, but like, I hate that it's like, oh, not only are you having to devote all of your day to being at the convention, and let's face it, guys, we've been to many Collecticons in our years. There's probably not going to be too much else going on. We're going to spend a couple hours there, and then we're going to go home, right?
This is facts.
Like we've been to Collecticons almost, there were a year that we went to every Collecticon, right? And it was the same stuff. So it's just weird that it's not happening at the convention. Like that is what old Metazoo thrived on to bring engagement. They saw all of these people playing this card game at the convention. Hey, what are you guys doing over there? What are y'all playing? Why are there all these people there?
Well, it stems to me even more. Like I said, I know people. I saw some people in the chat, and I briefly go in there from time to time, and they were talking about like old Metazoo versus new Metazoo, and of course you have a couple of people who are still adamant about old Metazoo, and then you got a lot of people, some new people who are like shutting them down. And it's like I prefer this art, and I'm like, I mean, that's all personal preference, but I do think that the strategy, or maybe the lack of strategy behind like the fourth wall stuff, I always believe that if you don't have the fourth wall stuff, you're missing the magic within Metazoo, because that was its the largest proposition of why, you know, people talked about it was like, it's got fourth walls, and if you play it here, or you have this item that affects you, and then it also just encouraged people to talk and encourage people to engage. It's the same way with like Pokemon. Like, you only had a certain amount of Pokemon, and Pokemon Red had a certain amount of Pokemon, and Pokemon Blue. You either had to trade or talk, or, you know, et cetera, to kind of get engagement going and to like complete your Pokedex. Well, the same thing in Metazoo. To get people to come into the game, they're like, okay, fishing rod's kind of weird, but they'll hear some more about it, and they're like, oh, it's kind of like Magic, but then it's got like this cool little subsect and all this other stuff. So I think that's the magic that they're missing, because for me, it looks like the team is really top notch, but you know, sometimes it needs a little funky ingenuity to push it over the top.
All right.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm also of the opinion that most people that play card games aren't, like, the bulk of your audience aren't looking for like a truly competitive, high-end card experience. They just want to play cards in a fun way. Like, as long as it's interesting and somewhat memorable and is easy to learn, I think that's really what people care. Like, the bulk of your people care about. Sure, we talk about competing in events and stuff like that, and that's all well and good. Honestly, a lot of people that compete in events, like air quotes competitive card players, a lot of that group are just people that are fans of the game, and they just want to go to the event to play in a organized way, not because they're tired of playing, you know, George, who they play every single day, and they're like, yeah, there's other people, and I get to play other people and share in the love of whatever this product or IP is with somebody else just through gameplay. So I think, and that's something I've said a lot about Meta 2 or whatever, is just like the game is really good. It's clean. I like a lot of things about the game itself, but also like it's almost a little sterile too, where it's like it could also be any game, right? It doesn't feel like it's uniquely this or that. It's just kind of like, this could be like almost like a Bandai type thing where you could put any product on top of this engine and it would still work.
Oh, for sure. It's just, they could have done it, you know, they could have done it so easily. They could have just like had this happening, even if it was like casual, even if it was just pay $25 to do this and playing a little casual. And once it fills up, you know, hey, stick around and play it. The
give out convention packs is like pricing.
Right. Millions of those they've got floating around. And like you're sitting there and you're thinking that, and then they just don't. Like, and even this core audience, you know, you do a flex deck tournament because you're trying to bring your casual audience into the game. The casual audience, maybe they came there with their family. They're like their partner and their kids or whatever. They're not going to want to go to the Omni Hotel. That's
after hours,
right?
Right.
7 o'clock. They're not showing up, man.
Yeah. They've already went home, and they're all, you know, getting ready for either, it depends on your demographic, but they're either getting ready for bed or not. You get what I'm saying though, right? Like, they're winding down for the evening after going to a convention during the day.
Oh, it's 7-Eleven at night?
Yes.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
No one's going to that, you know? Like, and that sucks, because this was supposed to be the event that brought people in to test out the game.
Flex decks, especially, right?
It's flex decks, right?
Yeah.
It's like the double whammy, because the numbers had already dwindled from their last event, which was constructed 9 people.
which
right?
makes sense. Like constructed is tough. Like there's not a whole like
And
you
you're
know
in a further state.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like okay, so it's not constructed. So you're trying to bring in the casual
Yeah.
crowd, right? Someone that's not like a die-hard Metazoo fan, especially whenever the pricing is doodled on convention promos, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't showing up for that. It would be cool if I did this at 3 p.m. instead of 7. I'm not doing that. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
you've you've kind of segmented your competitive audience because they don't want to just play with flex decks. They've invested in the cards. They want to play the game with the cards that they've bought. 1. 2, you've alienated your casual crowd because they don't want to stay after con hours, go to a separate venue to play in this tournament. So there's strike 2, and strike 3, the pricing isn't that good, right? Like,
Man, let me tell you, for what like remember Roswell, how many people there was 100 I remember I was a judge for that event. So there was about 120 players
yeah,
at Roswell playing in release events because they thought they could get spoiler packs, which they never got, which is this whole other like PTSD story. But on the fact or on the idea that they thought they could get an exclusive pack, there was 120 people grinding out freaking release decks in the middle of nowhere, Roswell. What the heck? So yeah, to have them, you're right. It's a miss to not have them in a visible way, meaningful way at the convention.
I think it's also just a tad bit different because again, there's so much speculation behind, or it wasn't speculation at this point. The valuation of the cards were where it was at. Like you knew that you could, if it was stamped like spoiler, you could sell it for $50 to $100. You could have a steal. I think that it's different, even if the pricing was great. Like they could give you a case. It just don't hit the same right now because the value of the cards aren't.
it's so low, right?
Yeah, like I think even if you had like now, if they did one of those poncho boxes, maybe that would get the people going.
Maybe
a poncho box, or I mean, again, just you'd have to come up with some sort of like it's not hard to engineer like some sort of scarcity on a card that people would want, right? Like again, it could be 10 cards were stamped this way. I don't know, 5 were stamped this way. Whatever you want to come up with to engineer like a chase or scarcity, but it can't be like a drawn on card because that's just something that should be encouraged. Like that's a fun community thing that the artist can do for people already. It needs to be, if they're going to do a sketch card, it needs to be like a full blown sketch card, almost like what they did in Houston Collecticon a while back, which I thought that was nice, where it's like, this is a legitimate stamp poncho official art card. It's not drawn on top of a card, which is an important distinction to make, I think.
Very much so, right? Like, the mascot for Dallas is Hodag. He's the one on the promos this time. It needs to be like a custom art card that has like Hodag holding up the trophy or something.
Yeah,
like, that would be sick. People would show up for that, right? Like in droves, people would show up to compete for that.
Absolutely, with cool art by like a artist that people, and that's, I'm not trying to dog any of the new artists, but like there's the artists. Listen, Metazoo hasn't grown enough in a significant way, in my opinion, for people to have much love for any of the newer artists. Again, no disrespect, but like it would have to be like a Poncho, or it would have to be like a Jet or a Lily, like one of the main former, like a Seb, one of the main former Metazoo artists. It couldn't be just like Sound or Flex or whoever. I don't know.
Honestly, probably the only person that was not an official artist that could sort of demand that sort of, wow, okay, yeah, I'll show up for that, is Emily, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
People would show up for Emily Nancy for sure.
Yeah.
But other than that, again, no disrespect to the new artists. We do appreciate your artwork. It's great, but it's not big. We're not big enough yet. So
yeah.
So them, there's a reason why it's been Poncho, it's been Jet, it's been Kelsey, right? Like it's all of these people, all of these old artists, because they know that's who's going to show up and pay the $55 for for the sketches, right?
Yeah.
That's so much money to me, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, it's absolutely bananas, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah,
People are
exactly.
paying it, so I mean,
Yeah.
who are we to say that they're wrong? If people will spend the money on it, then why not? But
Yeah. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum by any
Right.
means. I'm just looking at it from like I'm speaking about like I don't think I'm gonna be paying $50 for
No.
a doodle card or whatever, but that's just me.
I mean, if I'm paying $50, I'm meeting up with the artist after the convention hours and saying, "Hey, I'll pay you $20 a doodle, and it'll go into your bank account." How about that one?
Or I'll buy them dinner and drink and say, "Hey, man,
You
let's-
mind putting some ink on these cards?
Yeah.
Like, is that cool? Like,
Yeah.
are you fine with that?
take them somewhere nice downtown." That's
Yeah.
that's a good dinner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, that whole thing's kind of strange. Just like missed opportunity for sure to have this event, and still not really rein it in. Even the messaging around it's kind of strange. It's still like a community event, but it's run by Ben, I think, of the Caster Cup Discord, who's also Metazoo staff now. So I don't know what to make of any of that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. And the other thing I want to I found out about this news initially. It sounded great. I got an email from Susan Scheid, which I believe she's the head of marketing for Meta2 now. I don't know if y'all got this message, but
Did you do the spoiler?
well, she sent an email. Metazoo TCG will be in town on June 14 and 15. Care to join us? And what's interesting about this email, first and foremost, is that typically speaking, if you're sending your emails out through like HubSpot or MailChimp for email health scores, you have to have like legally, you have to have like an unsubscribe button and things like that. So if this was mass sent out, then that's not really good for your email performance. Just I'm sure Susan knows because she's a marketer, but just throwing that out there, FYI. But also it was weird, like there was no email signature of hers in there, like saying who she is or what her title is, or it's like a very cold email. But the email reads, and I'll read off real quick, just like, "Hello Metazoo fans, GQL's heading." First of all, it's like, who's GQL, right? We're assuming that I know who GQL is heading to Collecticon Dallas. Should probably include a link to the event that has the dates. We've got some amazing grassroots level activities planned to grow and celebrate the community. Expect live demos, artist signings, convention exclusive packs, and of course free giveaways. We love all those things are great. If you're in the area, we'd love for you to stop by and say hi. Even better, if you have a few hours to spare on Saturday or Sunday, we're looking for passionate fans to help out at the booth. So what is Easton's thoughts on that? There's more. Let me finish real quick before we get the hot takes, I guess. Volunteer for just 4 hours and receive free entry to the event plus free Metazoo product as a thank you. If you're interested, just reach out to me directly. I'd love to hear from you.
For the record, I did not get that email.
And then P.S. There will also be a Flex Deck tournament Saturday evening. Details will be announced on our socials.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'm subscribed to GQL updates, and I did not.
Oh, okay, maybe it was me, but I feel like the Hello Metazoo fans is like a weird personalization token that you just throw in.
Yeah.
Or not even person. That's not even. There is no personalization tokens. I'm sorry. That's just Hello Metazoo fans. I imagine bulk send, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least you get product and some exclusive like time working and seeing what's going on. I wonder what he'll be doing behind the booth. Like maybe 4 hours
stamping them con promos, baby.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing behind the booth.
Oh yeah, probably because they got there are other people need to be doing other things. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. You're going to be running the stamp embossed machine for the convention promos. 100%. That's what you're doing. That's what they did at the last one. That's what the volunteers were doing. So, oh no, seems
4
like
hours a time though, bro. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, free entry. Okay.
Okay, that's $40. So
$40.
right now we're at $10 an hour now.
Then you get some product. We don't know what that is, but let's just say you get 6 packs.
No, there ain't no way 6 packs. Let's say you get a booster box and you get I think they have the convention packs in like different SKU. I think 30 is like the middle one. You get a box of 30 or a box of 50, I think. I think they give you the smallest convention pack box, whether that's like 10, 30, or 50, I don't remember which, and a booster box. I think that's what you get, probably along with the convention specific promos. So
that's not bad taken. Okay. Kurt, you gotta put on the clown face.
Yeah,
God.
that's not bad as you're like slowly painting your face. I think it's totally fair.
Yeah. Wow, I can't wait to volunteer at Dallas Electric.
Wait. If you only work 4 hours and the convention goes for 8 hours, that means you still have 4 hours to play around with in terms of not doing. You still get time to like BS with the convention.
Yeah. 4 hours to contemplate how to kill myself, and the other 4 hours to find the tallest point at the convention center to jump off of. Yeah, cool. No, that is not. We don't work for product, man. We don't work for product. That's not. No.
What about the love of the game though?
Man, love of these nuts, man. Come on.
Well,
you
I'm
show
just
me
saying,
organized play. You show me love of the game.
I think for them it's like if you don't want to get into the contractor game of giving them having to fill out like 1099s and stuff like that.
We back to playtesting days.
Yeah, you don't want to get back into that hustle, so you give them packs.
Per damn, dude. Give them $100 a day. Why not? $100.
You can actually, if legally speaking, I know if you pay somebody less than $500, you don't have to report it.
$100 a day. That's it. $100.
Not saying, yeah.
Okay, well,
I
mean,
$100 in a HoloCon promo. That's it. No, boxes are worth like $60, man.
Okay, 60 plus that 40 entry. There you go. And then maybe what about the convention packs?
How about just give me the $100?
Okay,
yeah, let's cut out the middle.
That's like saying I'm getting a pizza party at work instead of getting that $50 bonus. Come on now.
He's like, let's get to the potatoes.
I don't know. I just didn't like I mean, I guess it's nice to be included as part of the volunteer pool. I don't know, but 4 hours, that's a commitment in and of itself that I would not.
You are catching a lot more high quality flies with honey and money and cash as you are with your run of the mill horse flies with your vinegar. You know, we ran into the same problem with OG Metazoo and judges. I worked tooth and nail to improve the quality of these judges at these towers.
Yeah.
So hard did I say, if you keep offering shit, you're going to keep getting shit. We don't want shit. This is the chance to do it right.
I was going to say, yeah, okay, I see where you come from, Kurt, because you did advocate for the judges and volunteers to be treated with a little bit more prestige, but wouldn't that be taking away from being a volunteer that you're like needing to get paid? Because at that point, you're an employee.
Dude, Pokemon is doing it right. Pokemon historically has only given out booster boxes for their judges and their volunteers, and now even they're paying them per diem. Like, come on, man.
Okay. I do recommend if you are somebody who is struggling and you're having a hard time right now, and you did get one of those emails, to probably do it. I mean, I'm always giving you paper, stack your paper, stack your chickens, take care of your chickens,
get your drips up.
But if you're somebody who's like, I'm trying to min-max this thing, and you're trying to get into the convention and be around the Metazoo stuff, just take it. Don't think twice about it, but charge more next time.
I mean, you allocate what? You have 2 people running the stamp machines. I think they had, I don't know, maybe they had two stampers. You got 2 people running there. 8 hours is the convention. That's 4 people a day. You pay them $100 per shift, right? If they want to stay on for all day, give them another 100. Why not? That's $1,000 that you pay those employees for the weekend. That seems very reasonable to me, right?
Yeah, no, you got it. That's true.
25 an hour. I guarantee you'll get people lining up the door to volunteer for 25 an hour.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It's not even about. I think it's just the way it's rolled out too. I don't know. Maybe to me, there's just something that feels a little weird about it, but I can't put my finger on it. Like, I think it does feel like, it just feels more of like the whole click kind of stuff again, if that makes sense. Where, I don't know. Like, let me try to let me try to get be in this favorable position with this company so that way I can get my thing out of it.
Free attendees.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of what it is, but
and again, let me be clear. I'm only hypercritical of this because although that this is a new company, it is still the same name, and they are still doing the same things.
Yeah, that's what's maybe the disappointment to an extent, right? Where you're like, oh, I thought we weren't doing this,
and I hate that. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen because all 3 of us sitting here in this podcast care about Metazoo, whether we like to admit it or not, whether it's new Metazoo, old Metazoo, we care about it. We would drop everything and book a flight if they announced a tournament in California in 2 months. I promise you we would.
If it was worth the if the juice was worth the squeeze.
If the juice was worth the squeeze, all 3 of us would be on a flight going to play in that tournament, right?
Yeah, of course. Without a doubt in my mind.
So that's why we're hypercritical of it. At least I am,
Yeah.
No, I'd be there.
I ain't doing the same shit again, man. I ain't starting over. You got the name. You've got to learn from the sins of the past. It's just, I don't know. Hey, will I be at Collecticon? Yes. Will I be using my Denver Collecticon staff badge to get in? Yes. Just wear a Metazoo shirt. You're in for sure. You'll say you're with the Metazoo booth. No problem. They won't even bag check you. But it's something. I'm gonna be there. Oh, speaking of Dallas Collecticon, we're a week away. I think if you've got one available, I think we should reveal the Giddm Games exclusive giveaway. If you have one.
Yeah, I could do that.
It's time.
I want to show off the goods. This is why you don't go to volunteer at the stamp machine. You go to Dallas Collecticon to find one of us schmucks.
Yeah, volunteer your life to the Shadow Realm, and we will in turn supply you with this rare. I mean, there's got to be like 100 or less of these, so these are extremely rare.
Dude, printed less than the Orlando mailbox promo.
Oof. There we go. It's Charlie Herlocker's favorite card.
That's right.
And it is Bask in the Sunlight. That is, you might not be able to tell. It's collector stamped and serialized. This one is 69 out of 100. I just pulled this out of the box. It's 69 out of 100, bro.
Serialized, collector stamp, and it's Charlie's favorite Metazoo card.
You can't beat it.
You know he's signing that.
Yeah, that's right.
Own a piece of Metazoo history.
Art by Afton.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah. History.
History right there. What else can we say about turn the light on a little bit bright there, sorry.
You don't have to spend $200 at the booth to get this one. You just have to find us. We will be posting on socials when we plan to be there. Now you'll have to find us, but
yeah, we out there.
We will be posting when we're gonna roll up. It might be a Saturday only. Who knows? Might be Saturday and Sunday, but just prepare yourselves, Giddm Gamers. But it's something for the history books. You will be the talk of the town with your very own collector stamped, serialized Bask in the Sunlight.
So, and the lore behind the card, not only to contextualize it, but in the first Nick Strength and Metazoo Pokemon whatever interview he had with Charlie, there's a moment where Nick asks Charlie what his favorite card is, and whether it's true or not, however you want to phrase it. Charlie looks around and he goes to a shelf and he looks at a card and he says it's Bask in the Sunlight. So Metazoo fans, like, that's such a random one to like, and if he likes it, he likes it.
That's such a deep cut on the lore, though.
Yeah, it is a deep cut, but that's what that's from. And then the even deeper cut is the collector stamp is actually in reference to I believe it was like a nationals that Charlie went to where they were stamping Charizards with collector stamp, and then the Pokemon company didn't like that too much, and now there's this whole weird thing where it's like I think that Charizard's actually still worth like a good amount of money despite
I think so
being considered damaged cards, but like the lore around it makes it significant enough in a way where it is like an actual chase. So this is I think it's all in good fun. So that's really what this is about.
We mean no ill will by any of this.
Yeah.
It's just a goof and a gaff and something that will bring a smile to Charlie's face whenever you show him your official Giddm Games Bask in the Sunlight collector. Speaking of collector, on April 29th of 2025, a collector stamped Charizard from Hartford, from that regional, sold for $400. So who knows?
That could be you.
Maybe your Bask in the Sunlight will also be worth $400.
69 out of 100
in a decade. Yeah, these Charizards weren't serialized, so yours is serialized. So yeah, I think we're hitting it, and it's Bayaya approved. This is on Bayaya cards, so it's good stuff. If Bayaya's got their hands on it,
Bayaya.
If Bayaya's got your hands on it, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah. So okay, I think that's something to look forward to. We have shirts. Our shirts should be in here before then too. That would be fun.
Shirts.
Easton, I didn't get a response from you in time, so I got you a shirt, and it's the size you asked for, but I don't know if it's the right color. I forget what I put in for. I was like, because since this is all like drop shipping or whatever, when you order, it takes like a week to ship to actually get to us. So it'll be here like right before the event if you want to wear it. But
no worries.
Or if you'll make it, because I feel like
I'm up in the air.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Man, it's bad whenever Easton won't even drive 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So,
Collecticon.
If you're looking for the promos, just find us. We'll be wearing the Giddm Games wife beaters and
Giddm Games
official merch.
We'll be smoking cigarettes inside the venue.
Tracksuits.
And bringing Miller Lights in brown paper bags.
Absolutely. Gamer fuel.
Gamer.
That's right.
Oh my goodness gracious. It'll be a fun time for
sure. It will be, yeah. I'm interested in seeing, like, I haven't been to a con in a while, so for me it'll be like good to kind of catch up. And actually I think Dallas is probably, I would say historically has always been kind of one of the bigger ones, just given the market and the size and the audience that's in this area, that
for sure
will draw a crowd. Like I think there will be a lot of people there, and it'll be fun to see how that all plays out.
No need to spin the wheel for our promo. We'll just give it to you. You got to hit us with like
while supplies last.
That's right. Only the first 100 Giddm Gamers will be awarded this exclusive promo. Outside, 99. We've got to give one to Charlie himself, but maybe he finds us before we find him.
There are different tiers. There's a black border chase variant. There's a black border chase variant.
All right, the first person to find us gets a black border.
I don't know what it's gonna be random because you can't ask me to do any actual work on that. I'm just gonna pull it out of the box. So you gets what you gets.
You gets what you gets.
You gets what you gets, and that's all that you gets.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else as relates to Metazoo? I think that's it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think we hit all of our
Collecticon and Collecticon, and then them getting back the IG whatchamacallit, freaking profile.
Yeah. Collecticon. We're
in
thinking about Collecticon.
In Giddm Games fashion, there will be a big announcement tomorrow for Metazoo, as they've leaked on or whatever, shared on their Discord. So we don't know what that will be yet. But
week late on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Easton, you have to come next week because we got to do the live pod, man.
That's right.
Are we gonna do a live pod?
Yeah,
I'm going to. I mean, I don't know if it'll be quality or not, but I do have portable audio recording equipment that I will be bringing with me, and I will be using it.
Where are we gonna do it at?
I don't know.
Live from the Metazoo booth.
Just walking around talking in a microphone.
No, we'll do it from the Metazoo booth.
Yeah. No, don't feel pressured. If you want to, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but if you don't, we will be.
We can phone you in. We can phone you in.
Okay, but I wanna hang out. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The live last week was cool. Like I'm in the car just driving from DreamCon, and we're having a good time.
We have the technology.
Yeah, but still, I'm like, I still want to see everybody. It's just like, it's like so unmotivating right now in the card landscape. It's just so unmotivating. Like there's not. Like we used to like put down months in advance for collecticons, and now it's just like, man, if it's not in my backyard, I don't really need to go to it.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, is any card games really doing anything? I like the bug card game, but everybody else just isn't doing much right now, and it's sad.
Yeah, that shard bugs is. Is that what you're talking about? Because tell me about it. Tell me what you like about it. Yeah, I don't get it.
the art, I don't know. I like.
You like the prospect of making money off it. That's fair too.
It doesn't make money. Is it like worth something?
I mean, the Kickstarter got backed from what I imagine is like not a real number, but
what was the number?
107,000.
Oh no! Back in this, see, like I mean, that's good, but it's not. It's not like prime time Kickstarter funding days good. Like back, I mean, not to shit on what they're doing. I'm just saying that like it's just a different day and age. I just like the game because it looks kind of cool.
All right, well, you'll have to put me on because I looked at their Kickstarter and I was like, what like it looked like a lot of AI looking art and stuff on cards. But hey, I mean, listen, if that's
maybe when I went and played in Miami, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool game. Like it's kind of cool.
Okay,
that's it has somebody. It has an OG that's involved. Jeeps. If people aren't familiar with Jeeps, Jeeps is a pretty good OG in the really cool dude. OG with the Kickstarters. So. He's pretty
all right. Yeah. Listen, I'm not here to dog anybody in their product or their game they're working on. I'm just like
on the fence for dogging.
I'm
still on the fence for dogging. So
yeah, no. I think it's not like we're associated with it. I'm just saying I think that like Jeeps for the most part has had his finger on the pulse on a lot of Kickstarters and said which ones have been good and which ones haven't. And he's been right a pretty good amount of time, at least with them getting funded and in the teams and stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, I played the game, looked kind of cool. They're the only ones that I'm like outside of Metazoo that I would go to a collecticon to be at. But you got to think the golden days, like 2022, 2021. We went to Houston and you had like Polywog, you had
it was bumping.
Spirits, you had Metazoo, you had Gem Blender, you had so many different games, and it's like now it's like Pokemon, and it's not even just like all of Pokemon. It's like
Pokemon.
Do you want this Latios tag team for $1 billion kajillion?
Great.
Or you're gonna see like Metazoo in the corner and Cryptic Camp. I mean, all these are cool card games. I'm just saying, like, it's so unmotivating as a prospector or a lover of TCGs than like back in the day. It used to be so much many more opportunities to like look at stuff. Now you got Waka Flocka. You don't even got Vanilla Ice. You got Waka Flocka Flame, and you got Jason Page.
Yeah, no, not Jason Page, please. But listen, I I don't know. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I think that there's still some fun that could be had, though. I'm not going to completely discount the con stuff.
The friends that you meet along the way.
I know Texas Ted will be there, so
yeah,
we'll connect with Ted. See, maybe we get him to do a little bit on the pod. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the very least, like even if the con sucks, right? The best way to spin it into a net positive is just to like
chill with the homies.
Yeah, exactly.
Chill with the homies and do a little bit of networking.
Exactly.
We used to be able to play a tournament here, Vanilla Ice, all in the same venue. Now
I was trying to hear Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go.
Yeah, same.
And now I'm gonna hear Waka Flocka Flame. Wait, hold on. Waka Flocka Flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Maybe.
Well, we'll have fun no matter what. It's just one of those things where the hype's not there.
I'd much rather play Mario Party with you, James, Kate, Kurt, and the family. Let's just go do that. Like I'd go to Dallas to do that rather than go to the CollectorCon.
I mean, we could do that too. That could
say less, bro.
Yeah, we could.
That was the most fun. I don't know if you remember. That was the most fun I had was when we were playing freaking Mario Party before we went to the ranch. Oh
man, it's really all of this stuff is just a reason, like a good reason to get together with friends and have a good time. If you're not doing that, you're kind of missing out on like the core narrative of like literally all of this.
Then where are you at, man?
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, what are you doing?
Yeah. All right. Well, sorcery news. Do you guys want to kick off with any sorcery news?
Anything happening?
We got lots of sorcery news. We got the Dust Store updated. We've got new promos, reasons to spend dust market, dust economy going crazy right now.
Yeah, that King Arthur looks crazy, huh?
They all look insane, and I do not have the dust for it because I have not been playing any local events because no one shows up to the local events. So yeah, new Dust Store looks great, looks awesome. The Unland Cup happened this weekend, which was crazy because they ran for their top cut. They ran best of 3, which is interesting, right? Very cool. We have Cornerstones coming up next month.
And why is that interesting? Just to share, folks.
Because it's interesting because Sorcery plays best of 1. Official events are best of 1 all the way through.
And you like that?
No,
so,
hate that.
So playing best of 3 is different.
That's better. It feels
good. I don't much care for being there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours potentially if it goes to all 3 games, because most of the time your sorcery games are going to go to the time limit of 50 minutes. So playing a best of 3 of that makes me scared to do that. But interesting, very cool. Even if they don't do like side decks, even if they just say, here's your best of 3, play your same 50. Sure, that's fine. You can't get skunked. If you get skunked on game 1, you got a shot. So we love that.
Yeah.
We like hearing that. Binders are now back in stock. I don't know if you guys remembered, but the big binder debacle where all of their binders were like miscut the pages and they would not fit sleeved cards.
Yeah.
On the bottom row of the binders, they would not fit sleeved cards. So those are back and they fixed them. So that's cool. Yeah, I think that's about it. Cornerstones, like I said, which is like their store championships, those are going to start next month in July. So that will be a fun time. There is one in Denton, Texas that I will be attending. I know that Ed has some thoughts on some custom rulings that are happening at that store championship.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that. Yeah. I mean, I feel. Did I share this on the last pod? I forgot. But yeah, I don't like the fact that they like Archimago or whatever like the card that I like playing obviously is the one that everybody wants to ban. So that feels great. But it's not officially banned, which is even more annoying. Like I'd understand if the company banned it and it's like, well, we're
here. We understand.
We're going to follow the rules.
Right.
But instead it feels like when somebody bans it at like a local store level, even then if it was just the locals, I'd almost get it, where it's like, oh, okay, like the people in the store, the locals, we play here week after week and we're just tired of seeing that card. So can we all just like have maybe like a gentleman's agreement or whatever? Yeah. Okay, cool. But for it to be like an official sanctioned like big event, and it just feels like a little like playgroundy to me, where it's like, no, we don't want that card because it feels bad. And I looked at the data sets from like the events, and sure, it's performed well, but it's performed well statistically by the volume of people playing it, right? So like the more people that play a deck and the more that deck is optimized statistically, it's going to win more games. So that said, I think it does lose to decks that counter it. And when you suggest like counters, people are like, oh, yeah, well, that counter's not good against everything else. Okay, so what, you want another deck that's just good against the
field, right?
Yeah.
You want that, and that's not really a healthy meta in that sense, right?
Yeah, you ideally want an RPS format where it's like you want one thing that always beats this thing, and this thing always beats the other thing, and that other thing beats that first thing, and it's kind of like who's going to do what and is going to determine what, who's going to win that event. But that's just typical TCG player stuff too, right? Like everybody loves, it's easier just to complain about something and have it banned or limited or whatever rotated out.
I will tell you that the top 8 of Unland Cup was announced. They played day 1 yesterday, and Dave Floating Skull, one of the judge council, is the one who's running this tournament. They did publish their top 8 decks. Only one Archimago in the top 8.
Crazy.
So
yeah.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that there's only one Archimago? We have one Archimago. We have one Geomancer. We have one Avatar of Earth.
Yeah. Surprise.
We have 2 Battle Mage. We have 2 Druid. We have a Necro, or not a Necro. What's he's called?
So far, all of those pound for pound though are the avatars I would pick to beat Archimago. That's what I would play to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
So the field must be heavy. It must have been heavy Archimago.
I mean, maybe,
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd be curious.
If the field was heavy Archimago, then why is there only one in Top Cut?
I think if that'd be like if it was. I think people play counter meta, and then one of the meta made it in because of just the sheer number of them.
Yeah,
maybe, but not a lot of Archimago. Certainly, you would not see this and go, this is an Archimago shitty format. Like, this is very unfun.
Yeah, this is Nightfall Water.
Right, exactly. This is certainly not that. So, interesting, very interesting, very interesting data.
It's just exhausting arguing with like I don't know. I don't know. Some folks are very determined that like, oh, it is busted and it needs to be that straight up banned, and I'm like, well, I think that's a skill issue. I love saying that because there's so much truth to it. I just think it's like,
wait, what does it do? I haven't been keeping up.
It allows you.
Yeah, Archimago allows you to recast a magic spell from your graveyard. So you can, if you have 3 spells in your graveyard, you can banish them and recast one of them. Now you have to pay its cost, but that's what Archimago does. So basically it plays a bunch of good value card draw spells, and it just wants to kill you in 2 turns. The real yuck to this Archimago list and this deck in general is Divine Healing. So Divine Healing from the first set is a 1-cost Earth card that says heal 7, right? So your health is capped at 20. So heal 7 is basically a third of your life. Heal that. Well, if you draw more than one of those, now we're healing a lot. Getting to that, dealing 7 damage can be very difficult because other than that divine healing, the Archimago deck is only playing control cards. They're playing removal. They're playing things to stop you from killing.
That's my kind of deck.
That's
right
what
here.
I'm saying, dude.
It's
you
just
started to get me itching a little bit. I'm over here like
pure control is this Archimago deck, and the ability to recast that divine healing, recast that 7 heal 7 over and over. Most of the time, the only way to beat Archimago is to deal all 20 damage in one turn, so they cannot heal it up. That is the strat.
I like this. I might have to get. How much does this deck cost right here?
A couple $100 at most.
All right, I might have to get back in the swing of things because
I'm saying,
yeah, that's my deck too. So I was prior to the Archimago though, I was playing Geomancer, and the whole idea being is like I played Geomancer so I could basically do the same thing Archimago's doing, but you play off curve, right? So the whole idea is like you just ramp into big power spells before your opponent can really respond or do anything in a meaningful way, and you just you win. But similar idea, but I like what he doing a little bit more.
Yeah, and the ability to recast things is always nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you better believe. Yeah. So again, though, I don't think it's just like this overly dominant, like, and again, maybe I'm shit at the game or what have you, but I think there's cards that just beat it, or avatars that very clearly beat that deck. But whatever. So, but yeah, sorcery is fun. Again, out of all the Kickstarters right now, I'm still like definitely on that casual level for it, but I've been re-engaged, and it goes back to knowing the fact that the time that I am putting in playing goes into, what could be me playing at a actual, regional event. And that's, to me, time well spent. It's both fun and also feels somewhat productive.
Yeah, it's nice. We like it. It's cool. But I'll be interested to see how Unland Cup shakes up. Certainly we have Gen Con at the end of July into August to look forward to as the next big tournament outside of the Little Store Championships. But big news for Sorcery. We like Sorcery. Sure wish they would start supporting local play more. But other than that, it's pretty chill. It's pretty cool. What else we got? I know we're almost at time.
Yeah.
Flesh and Blood Nationals just happened this weekend, which is very cool. It was in Vegas. Really, really cool stuff. Flesh and Blood continues to prove that it's not just lightning in a bottle with Metazoo's success. Metazoo won success, and they pulled out of the Kickstarter era and are very successful that run hundreds of thousands of dollars in events successfully with people coming to play them. It's really cool. It's really great. That happened this weekend. We have Pokemon Nationals happening very shortly, which I'm not going to this year, but we'll definitely report on, as it's always a fun time to talk about Nationals. But yeah.
They took the sales out. I was like, I'm all for Pokemon Nationals, but they took it. Didn't they bring it to Anaheim?
No, Nationals this year is in NOLA again. It's in
Worlds is
Worlds is in Anaheim.
Funky ass Anaheim. Nobody want to go there. Y'all got freaking Tokyo. Y'all got Hawaii. Now y'all want to go to Anaheim. Take it to somewhere tropical. Take it to somewhere magical. No, they want
take it to Austin, Texas. Let me tell you.
I mean, even that's better than Anaheim.
You're not wrong.
Put that boy Pikachu in a cowboy hat. Come
right,
on,
that's
now.
all you got to do.
Put him in a tie-dye shirt that says "Keep Pikachu weird." Come on now.
Keep Pikachu weird, and he's riding a Tauros. That's all you got to do. But all right, I was really committed. I was like, what? Tokyo, Honolulu. I gotta go. I'll play $15 decks. Perfect.
Trying to hit people with a big guy.
Big guy.
Tokyo, man.
Crazy stuff. Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's always fun to make a trip out of it. Like, Pokemon, you know the EV's there. Let's be honest. Like,
Pokemon.
whatever exclusives you get at that thing,
Y'all
pay
want to
for your
talk
trip.
about Pokemon?
Man, sometimes it pays for your trip. If you do well enough, it pays for your trip.
That's facts.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways,
This is
Yeah.
facts.
that's all I got. We will definitely do some more reporting next week for sure. Possibly live from Collecticon. We might be able to phone Eason in and put him on the big screen, one of the TVs at the Metazoo booth. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
our podcast
Yeah,
there.
that would be crazy, dude.
I look like Zordon.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, I
Yeah.
am your Caster Cup champion.
Rangers. Casters.
Yeah, yeah.
Caster, your game needs you.
Zoo. Oh Lord. That was
We got Mike popping out of the fucking Rita Repulsa egg like
Yeah.
for 3 years I'm
I'm
free.
I'm better than
Andy popping out of the Rita Repulsa little egg going after 2 years I'm free.
he's Goldar. He's Goldar.
He's Goldar for sure.
I forget
He's Goldar.
the names of the characters, but like I remember the music when they come walking up the two like bullies or whatever at the high school. That's
Yeah.
that's Andy walking up. They start
Like
playing that
Biff
music.
and Chip. Was
Yeah.
that their name? Like Biff and Chip or
Yeah.
something.
And then the music was always like a trumpeter, like that'd be Andy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Bulk and Skull.
Focus
Skull. Okay,
No.
yeah.
Who would be Zed? Or is it Zed? Or was it who's Rita's husband?
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Who's Lord
Yeah.
Zed?
Dude,
I
who
don't
is
know,
Lord
man.
Zed?
Is that Mike? Is Rita Andy and he brings back
No,
Lord Zed?
Rita's definitely Mike. Lord
Okay.
Zed is I don't know. I don't Lord Zed's like almost too cool to be like
Yeah, Lord Zed
get-
is way too cool.
yeah.
That's Lord Zed is the fellow behind GQL.
Yeah, maybe Poncho or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord Zed.
Because at some point, Lord Zed knew Rita was like wrong for some of the shit that was going on. He's like, I was all part of the plan, but then it got like off the rails.
Yeah.
It's too funny, man. God, all right, Cam, we'll get to work. We need Mike Waddell popping out of a Chaos Crystal egg, Rita Repulsa style. We need that next Giddm Game shirt is Mike
Oh man.
talking out of a after 5,000 years I'm
Free.
Oh my god.
God, it'd be
Okay.
too good.
Well, that'll be on the next podcast, I'm sure. Well, no, we'll be live, but maybe we'll open up like that. Who knows? There could be clown makeup involved. It'll be fun. It'll be a crazy weekend. We'll make it fun. So
it'll be a good one.
come find us at Collecticon.
Mhm.
Appreciate you guys stacking the deck with us.
Whoa, why'd you do it so fast?
Because you have to say it within how he says it, so it's got to be stacking, and then we're just waiting, and then it's like the deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright,
Yeah. If you hit us with one of those, that's big guy energy right there. Yeah.
Yeah, big guy for sure.
All
All right, y'all.
See ya.
All right, gang.
Bye.